Okay, that took a hot minute. Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Apologies for kind of surprising you up here, but either way, there might be some stutters here and there. Hopefully not. Ideally, nothing would happen. But it seems the PC is still having issues here and there. Or yeah, PC mode is still having a couple of issues. Particularly whenever I open the game, which is fantastic. The only I guess it's just kind of a little bit of advice. Whenever you run computer, right, if running in a potato like I am, um, what I do is I actually turn off my computer. I click turn off. I hibernate it. I click the turn off button, and then I click it on again. And typically, what happens is one of two things should happen: either the game starts running fine, or it starts stuttering like 5 minutes after. I give it a few seconds, and then that'll determine if I die or not. My sanity, that is, of course. Um, but regardless of that, hi, welcome. I wanted to showcase a bit of my small achievements that I've done so far. I'm currently about to be level 40, so I want to show you guys what that looked like. Yeah, most of us probably might be at this point close to that, if, at least I hope so. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of go over a few things because I've heard a couple of things and so.
Speeding up.
Um, lag has been really bad, randomly on Wuthering Waves, and it's kind of hurting a little bit. Because trying to play the game is a little bit obnoxious. And the problem is like I'm kind of like in like the spot where I'm like I run a PC that's like relatively okay enough to run this alright, but it's like it doesn't really have much to do with like the quality. Because I'm running something that's I think is personally pretty bad. I'm running like a what do you call them? Let me see if I can pull it up. Information. Hmm. Okay, so I'm running a Intel i7 1065 G7. It's not necessarily the fastest CPU. It's a terrible CPU compared to this thing. It's 1.3 gigahertz. It kind of boosts up to like 3.0 on its own pretty fairly well. Running Windows 10, and I have 16 gigabytes of memory. The CPU is fine. I'm running it on a SATA SSD. And honestly, I think it's probably what's making the biggest, kind of like the biggest thing ever. So I think that's probably like the biggest main thing on performance. How fast the game reads the files. Which is kind of weird to say, but like that'll speed up your gameplay as well as. Hold on. I actually have a little bit of a plan for us. Just kind of getting a little bit of a talk out of the way. Apologies for that. Let's see. That was enough, yeah. Yeah, I was just claiming some stuff. But yeah, it's just been like really weird performance-wise because I like playing on PC, but it's either one or two things. So if my connection gets really bad, it starts stuttering really bad. Thankfully on video it hasn't really shown up, other than the one time when I started the game originally, which has gotten better. But it's really just a little bit obnoxious when I play when I'm trying to play the game. Because I'd love to play on phone or on PC more, but it's been more than anything really, really tiring to have to deal with it. And what's the word? Oh, there's a lot of things. Maybe in the number. So while I try to get my thoughts together. So yeah, in essence, I have everything low. It runs perfectly fine. It looks much better than on phone for sure. And my phone's trying not to explode, which surprises me a little bit. Yeah, I have everything off. Uh, I I think if you turn off VC, for example, it's kind of nice if you're like kind of getting like off frames when you're running like with a decent rig to just kind of make them consistently. But from what I've heard, like stuff like this, so VC kind of can ruin this stuff. Anti-aliasing is kind of weird to say the least. I just don't like this. Motion blur is supposed to make stuff better, but this stuff just kind of gives me nausea. Fog and volumetric lighting. This is makes stuff prettier. I don't know about this. LED bias. This makes it alright. I think on phone there's a setting for FSR, which actually makes the quality of the game much cleaner. And I've run that like I run on my phone on like almost max settings, but it's not like I have a bad phone to begin with. And like certainly I have the space for it. It's just running like terrible. And I run it more on my phone because I can kind of actually enjoy the game and play it in a more optimized manner. But my siblings, my I think my brother can't really run it in a nice manner, and sat here and complain about it all the time. Or the thing likes like a lot. So hearing him complain about it's kind of like just part of the course. But it's really really weird. Just to play this and not really enjoy it as much as it could be. I might actually make this a separate video because I don't like ranting. Yeah, I might make this a separate video. Apologies if you like kind of saw this and like, hey, there's no video. I'm like, I'm just ranting about. But I guess let's talk about performance. I guess. Yeah, because I literally just got up, tried to run the thing, and as soon as I try to run it, my computer starts lagging like crazy. And it's like I'm like I think it's a memory leak, is possibly a memory leak issue because I've been a lot of people talking about it. There's either that or the game's not rendering stuff properly. And then I'm familiar with the type of rendering that this requires typically. I'm not necessarily like a know-it-all with like playing games, but I am familiar with games that play on Unreal Engine 5 or on UE, just the Unreal Engine typically. And typically, what happens is one of two things. So, whenever you run the game, it either runs perfectly fine if you have a PC that's like can handle it perfectly fine. No matter the biggest thing that I've seen is like the memory will go really high. I think if I look at my processing settings right now, and you can take it as word of mouth. This is just me what I'm looking at my stuff and things. So right now my dedicated GPU is kind of absolutely terrible, but it runs fine in my opinion. I'm running an MX250, uh, and possibly sharing the GPU usage on my integrated graphics card on my CPU, so it's using that as well as the memory. Let's see, it's using the actual processor what Wuthering Waves using is 3.3 gigs of memory, 87% of my GPU. OBS 2 is actually using a little bit more because I'm actually, yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? So OBS is using some of my stuff and things. It's perfectly fun. There's other things that are running in the background that's kind of like taking up some stuff, but it's like very, very minor. Yeah, Windows Manager for some reason is using GPU to render stuff, which is really weird. Honestly, I would love to kind of run like a Linux thing, but I don't trust myself with like Linux. I guess yeah, it's Linux. There's like more features missing from it, as much as I'd like to. There's also like some games you can't really play in Linux directly. Because I'm also using kind of Windows, so I would love to like test it out, but necessity over what should I call it? Ease of use versus trying to versus the other stuff. If y'all got like stories, I would look here because I'm like kind of talking just from kind of like not my opinion as much as like my experience so far. But yeah, PC has run relatively nicely when it wants to. Mobile has run alright for me. It kind of tends to burn my hands is the main thing. If y'all know the mobile hand burn,
Whoa.
you know the feeling. If you know which because mobile is fine. I know there's like I think I've heard talks about there being for the NVIDIA GeForce Experience stuff for that stuff for Wuthering Waves, but I haven't really seen anything really done for it. So it's kind of like, well, there's talks about it, but nobody really does it. So what's this is like, oh, cool. But I haven't really heard much from that prospect of things. But typically will run better. But the problem I have is in the location I'm at. It also doesn't help that my internet is terrible. Randomly, it's not all the time. It's like randomly terrible. It's like consistently, then it's not, and it's good, and then it's not. And as much as I'd like to get Fiverr, for example, there's nothing. I just have I think we have Spectrum. I think so we have for the things. But yeah, no, that's service kind of runs like terrible. Oh, randomly. It'll do, and then it doesn't, and it'll do, and then I have other stuff, and it's like I'm in a rural area, relatively, quote unquote. I'm in like a small town kind of thing, so it's a kind of weird thing. But yeah, let me know your experiences personally. I was gonna kind of do other stuff, and I'm gonna make that a separate video. Just so I don't bore you guys, because I'm like I want to just showcase. Hey, we're gonna play something today. Y'all want to join me in it? But yeah, that's gonna be it. I hope y'all have a good day and stay solid at least.